Hey guys, welcome to Food, Drinks, and Rock and Roll. I'm Chef Nathan Lippy. In case you guys missed last week's episode on Ustream.tv, we did a ground ginger crusted chicken breast with the grapes, tomato, Haricot saute, and an acai soy reduction. I'm going to show you that right now here on the recap of Food, Drinks, and Rock and Roll Live. All right, the first thing we're going to start is our sauce because it takes a little time to reduce. We're doing a reduction sauce. It's an acai and soy reduction sauce. If you've never seen acai or you've seen it and never known how to pronounce it, that A-C-A-I, that's pronounced acai, and it's a lot like pomegranate. So our sauce is so simple, you're not even going to need a recipe. So if you're doing 3 cups of acai, you're going to do 1 cup of soy, or if you're going to do 1 cup of acai, just make sure it's 1/3. Basically what we're creating is this really great sauce. It's going to be a reduction sauce that has a lot of sweet, a lot of tart, and a lot of savory and salty. So those flavors are going to kind of compete with each other a little bit. It's going to make for a really exciting sauce. Crank the heat up to high and we're going to reduce this. Now I've got a large saute pan. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil and we're going to get started with our chicken. So about a tablespoon of olive oil on medium heat. We don't want to go too hot. So check this out, if you've never seen ground ginger before, ground ginger has the consistency of flour. It's kind of like a very subdued version of ginger. If you ever go to a Japanese restaurant and have pickled ginger, it's similar, but a much more subdued flavor. So we have some delicious chicken breasts right here. We're actually going to be quite generous with the ginger. We're going to go over the top, and this is going to create almost what a fried chicken kind of texture has. It's going to create the same thing, but just a bit more delicate. We're also going to add some salt and pepper. We're going to coat these on all sides. Once you've got your chicken nice and coated with all the ground ginger and salt and pepper, make sure it's nice and dusted on all sides, just like this. This is actually going to create a beautiful golden crust once they start to cook in the oil. We're going to take some grape tomatoes and some grapes, and we're going to cut them in the same shape, just in half long ways. In a separate saute pan, we're going to add just a touch of olive oil. Now a lot of people cook their beans or their green beans and they overcook them and they get kind of too soft, you know what I mean? So what I like to do is get my olive oil nice and toasty. We're going to add our beans right to the dish. We're actually going to kind of let them brown up just a little bit. So we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're going to let these cook just a bit in the olive oil. That ground ginger has this really delicate, almost like a fried chicken crust on the outside. Beautiful, golden brown, really attractive color. So once you get about halfway cooked, you're going to take them out. And this is kind of a neat trick. It works both ways. If you ever cook chicken at home and you're always worried about it being undercooked, this is a really easy trick. So check this out. Basically, you're going to cut your chicken breast in half on the bias, kind of on an angle, like so. You'll notice it's still a little undercooked on the inside of the chicken. That's okay. We're actually going to use the 2 strips of chicken as part of our garnish. So we're going to flip it down and put it cut side down back into the oil. One of my favorite parts is actually having that beautiful tasty crust. We're actually creating a 3rd layer of crust, which is pretty cool. Once our green beans have gotten just a bit toasted, we're going to add a little bit of chopped garlic. Now this is going to cook pretty quick, so we're only going to cook this for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then we're going to add our grapes and our tomatoes. The last little thing we're going to add is a bit of jalapeno pepper. Not so much for the heat, but for the flavor. Actually, all of the heat for jalapeno pepper is found on the inside of the pepper, right here on the veins and in the seeds. So we're actually going to get rid of the veins and the seeds so that we can eliminate some of that heat. We're going to slice them down long ways, then we're going to turn them a little bit, and we're going to do a nice small little dice. This is going to be one last little bit of flavor that we're going to add to our saute. This is going to add some heat, but not nearly as much heat as you would have if you had the seeds and all the pith and all that stuff in there. So this is the last little bit. Give it a nice toss. And just like that, our dish is done. This is how you plate it. Start with your green beans and your grapes and tomatoes. All these colors are just so beautiful together. And the nice thing is all these flavors are complementary flavors. We've got sweet, we've got some tartness, we've got some umami, which is that earthy flavor from the beans and from the ginger. It's a really pleasant dish on the palate. Plus there's a little bit of heat from the jalapeno. It's got a lot of fun stuff going on. So we start with our green beans, tomatoes, and grapes. Then we're gonna go with our beautiful chicken breasts. And I like to cut them in half for a couple of reasons. One, it helps me make sure my chicken isn't undercooked, but also I get this beautiful presentation. You gotta stack them up on top of each other, just like that. Then we're gonna take our beautiful acai soy reduction. You'll notice when the bubbles get nice and big, your sauce is reducing. It's basically the sugars condensing and making it for like almost like maple syrup, this beautiful, thick, gorgeous sauce. So check this out. This has had a chance to reduce, so it's gonna be nice and thick. And you can kinda, that's flavor right there. So we're gonna, this is a little chef trick, a little restaurant trick. You ever seen those beautiful plates that have like lines and dots and all that fun stuff? This is how you do it. Basically have a nice viscous sauce, something that's nice and thick like maple syrup or honey. You're gonna take a nice spoon, you're gonna go up kind of high, and you're gonna go quickly, and you're just gonna make beautiful little zigzags and lines and kind of the dots end up happening. Just like that, all natural. So this is absolutely a beautiful, wonderful dish. It's really good looking, and all those flavors make total sense. It might be kind of strange you're looking at cooking grapes, but I'm telling you that sweetness is exaggerated. It's exaggerated by the salty, savory flavors of the soy and of the chicken. And once you try this, you're never gonna look at ginger the same again. So make sure you guys go check out some of this ground ginger at redmonkeyfoods.com. You can find them on Facebook as well. You guys can also go to facebook.com/chefnathanlippy, twitter.com/chefnathanlippy for all the recipes and more pictures and all kinds of fun stuff. And don't forget, every Saturday we're live at 1 p.m. Eastern on ustream.tv/food, drinks, and rock and roll. So I'll see you guys this weekend. Thanks for hanging out.